So I'm waiting for eBay to decide what we're going to do about this. And I really just wanted a return, but then I decided that I was going to go ahead and try to save this doll. And she's just hanging around the house dirty. So I decided I would clean her. And I don't know if you can pick this up, but look at the edges. There's so much animal hair on this dress that after I washed it twice, scrubbed it, there's still animal hair hanging off the dress, and it was on her body too when I wiped her down. This is ridiculous. So I'm documenting this process for two parts. First of all, because I intend to ask for a partial refund because this is not in great shape, and anybody selling anything that knows anything about a doll, especially, well, if you know anything about a doll, you know that this should not look like this. So this is not in great shape, and you can see some obvious places where there was track going across, and it's just completely gone. This is not in great shape. Secondly, I'm documenting it because, well, I've been doing videos on rehabbing dolls, so I just want to show you the process. Now, here's the bottom of Kanani's hair, which is what I totally expected this. She is a 10-year-old doll. This is what her wig looks like. It's frizzy, it's ratty. There's some split ends in some places. This I did expect, and there's nothing wrong with this. I mean, for 10 years, I think this is held up, and actual play by an actual child. I think this is held up pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and see what I can do about it just to make it smoother. Now, in this case, her hair has been washed. I did not apply any conditioner because I've actually found that it's not really a necessary step. When the doll is in this much distress as far as the wig is concerned, I found the best policy is to take a couple passes with the flat iron. Now you have to be really careful with the flat iron. It has to be sopping wet. You make one pass and you are done, and you don't hold it or it will melt. So just it's very carefully. I'm going to flat iron it off of the screen because where I'm at, there's not enough space to do it properly and watch that it's not going to be a problem. But I do want you to see what it looks like before. And I'll be back in a few minutes. So here's Miss Kanani, not the scarecrow anymore, after her date with the flat iron. So you can see this is 200% better. There's going to be some breakage. It's not too bad. There's some flyaways. It's not too bad. She's a 10-year-old doll. And if the wig had not been missing up in here, which is so obvious, I would have been perfectly happy with this doll and the price that I paid for her. Because look at that. She looked ratty before, and now she looks perfectly fine. I wet the hair very thoroughly. I don't actually know what temperature that flat iron was on because it's set for a standard temperature of my hair, and it just has a off, middle, and a high, and it's always in the middle for me. And I've had this for some time. I'd probably say it can't be more than 300. But make quick passes, make sure everything is wet, make them thin, and it came out beautifully. So that would have been the end of things if if she hadn't been bald in the back. So what I did is I went down to the hair supply store. We got a ton of them here, and I got some wefts to put in. Now, here's the terrible thing. When I was at the store, I compared them to the light in the store because, of course, I can't take them out. And it looked like, see, that's like really bad. In the light of the store, it looked like 30 was pretty close to what her hair was. But you can see with the light of the camera and the light in the house that this is so not the same color. So I have some options. I can dye this. I can get more. So I think what I'm going to do is just dye what I have here because this is actually human hair. I couldn't find any synthetic hair in that store. That was so odd. Usually it's like lots of yucky synthetic hair, but I have this red hair, and so I'm just going to fix a wig for Kanani, and I'll show you at some point later what it's going to look like. And then in the meantime, after all this stuff is sorted out, then I will probably just buy the Bee Beauty wig. I don't think I want to send her to the doll hospital because I don't want her skin tone to change. That's one of the things I like about this Kanani. And her eyes are pretty decent. The Jess mold that I sold, her eyes were off a bit. It's kind of hard to see here. Her eyes were off a bit. And this Kanani, her eyes are off a bit, but not as much as the other Jess mold, is not as much as I've seen some eyes. So other than that, I'm satisfied with her skin tone and eyes. So we'll see what comes next in the Kanani saga. I'm pretty excited today. The Kanani wig came in the mail. This is an actual Kanani wig I got off Mercari, of all places, actually, because I generally shop on Mercari, but I was desperate, so I found one. And I was told it was a little thin, but actually it looks really good, and it's not bald in the back like my other Kanani. So let's have a look. Okay, so we go where the tracks are, and as you can see, the place where my Kanani wig is missing long hairs, which is in the middle of this track right here. They're here. So let's go down to the next track underneath that, and here are the long hairs. They're here in the middle of this, see, like they should be. And we go down to the next track, and you can see there's a little bit of thinness right here in this spot, but for the most part, look at all that hair in the middle. And we go down to this middle, and it is thinning a little bit here, but look at all that hair that actually covers the short pieces. You don't just see rows and rows of short pieces like the one I got. So all in all, this is in pretty good shape. I may not even need to do the partial wig restoration. We'll see. I'm going to go ahead and turn this tangled mess into a Kanani wig. So first of all, before I wash, I'm going to wash. Oh, my sewing machine's on, and I'm like spraying water towards the light. Okay, anyway, before I do the wash, first thing you should do before you wash is detangle. So I'm wetting it, and then I'm going to brush it through with the wig brush. And of course, you start at the bottom. And since it is so tangled, I'm going to shake it out off camera. You won't be able to see me doing that. Shaking it out. Hey, this goes for weavers too. Those of you who weave, when your warp is tangled, don't comb your fingers through it. Shake it out first. And that's the same thing with the wigs here. Shake it out first. You'd be surprised how much of that tangle gets is gone when you shake it out. Then you want to wet it some more. Wet as much as you possibly can. Dripping wet is even better, but I'm not at sink yet. And so I'm going to start from the tips, and I'm going to brush it out. Gently detangling where necessary. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on Kanani's head. And then I'll show you what it looks like after I brush it out, and then I'm going to wash it. All right, so this is just a little sketchy because my phone ran out of battery before I finished the brushing. Never even noticed. And so this is the tablet recording, which is not all that great. And it's just a quick view of what it looks like after it's been brushed out. You can still see it's got the frizzy ends, but it's definitely detangled. So I braid it up in braids, which is what I do a lot of times for long wigs like this, or in sections too, so it won't get tangled while I'm washing. I'm going to go ahead, hot wash it. I'm not going to put any conditioner in it. And I think I'm going to go ahead and use the flat iron. It's washed and it's soaking wet. And I'm going to go ahead and make a pass with the flat iron. This is not something I recommend that you do unless you really have to do it. Be very careful. I can't recommend the setting because this flat iron is a really old one and it only has like high, medium, low. Maybe I'll find my digital thermometer and check out what the actual temperature is on this thing, but I'm pretty sure it's not much hotter It's not super hot. Anyway, just gonna make one pass and straighten it out. Then I'll be able to see exactly what I've got here. I have all these poor naked dollies in the background. Sorry, they're still waiting for their um, chemises. Okay, so here's Kanani. This is how this turned out. And I really have to start planning these videos better so I can really show you step by step how this is working. So I can set it up like that. All right, so when I did the flat iron, basically the flat iron is to unkink any of these pieces that, they stand up on top of the hair, fly away. So, and some of them are broken off and they tend to get kinky and frizzy. So you gotta smooth those down with the flat iron, just enough heat to do that. And then also the flat iron kind of maybe slightly melts is what I want to say. And it seals the ends and that heat brings the shininess back to the, I'm just going to say plastic. There's actually like a poly word for it, which I don't remember offhand, polyacrylic or something like that. Anyway, that the Kanekalon hair is made of. It's a modal plastic? I don't know. Anyway, you can look that up. It basically heats and it smooths that plastic and it seals and unkinks it, so making the hair a little smooth. And it's a pretty fine line between smoothing it to make it shiny and melting it, because this is not really a heat safe wig. A lot of times when you buy the wigs from the particular doll makers like Be Beauty and Exquisite Designs, they have heat safe synthetic wigs. But this is not. So you just want to be careful. I'm not using it to curl the hair. I'm just using it to lightly straighten it out and kind of bring back some of its luster. Basically, I'm melting it to bring back the luster. Okay, so let's have a look at Kanani's hair. Look how silky it looks. And for me, it doesn't need to be like soft, because even the newest dolls, their hair's not necessarily soft. It just needs to have that luster to it so that it looks well in photographs, and basically not be brittle. I did put a little wig oil in it. Now, Kanani had curls, and she still had a little bit of waviness even after the pressing, because I didn't press it bone straight. I actually have found that I like Kanani without the curls. I just do. And so I don't know. I might just leave her like this. If I want the curls, I just roll her up and dip it in the hot water, and it will take the shape. But that's incredibly different than the little frizzy wig that you saw, which was still in good shape, but this is different than the frizzy wig. I'm finding that Kanani's hair tangles quite a bit. You know what? And so does Nanea's. I don't have that problem with Joss. So it's not just long hair tangles. It seems to be specific wigs tangle. And so I have issue with that. And so I'm thinking that maybe I don't want to curl it. I want to be able to style the girls' hairs. And so I think I might leave it like this so that I can style it. I might put a little curl at the bottom here, and so it just has a little more body, but I actually like it just the way this is. I think it went really well. So for the most part now, Kanani is a usable doll. I've got most of that fixed. I just have one spot. She's got the pink spot on her leg down here that I'm going to use the acne cream to get rid of. But for the most part, it's on a place where you're not going to see. So for photography's sake, it's not really in a crucial place. So I don't really need to worry about that too much. So I'm really satisfied now. And you'll see Kanani in some upcoming photo sheets. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.